Alright, log cabin building, episode 4 I believe. I went ahead and cleared out a massive amount of this working area. I left a lot of these stumps up, and I'm going to come back to them last. And the reason why is I like to cut them flat to the ground like so. You can drive over that without popping a tire. You can step on that barefoot without hurting your feet. Thing is, when you're cutting this flat, I'll still usually move the leaves to the side. It's very easy to tap a rock that could have been leaning there. You do that, the chain's just done. At least done for the time being. So I'd rather not take that risk. And also, if you hit people in a little bit of dirt with your chain, it's going to mess it up a bit. Some moss down there. So I'm going to keep doing all my major cutting while my chain is nice and sharp. And once I'm done with all my major cutting, I'll come back and level all this flat. So this is mainly just the working area, So now I've got room to fell a whole bunch of these trees that I'm going to need. I'm going to have to push back in here some more beyond my camp. Clear some more of those, drop working ones, and create a bonfire pit with what's left over, or create firewood. This thing already is just, I maybe cleared a third of an acre, no more than half of an acre, and I've got just this unbelievable bonfire. I'm gonna have to create a second one over there. Don't get me wrong, I want a big crazy bonfire, but I ain't got a well here. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. This won't be fun as is. And so once I finish clearing this area, I decided, to go ahead and measure out my logs, tap where I measured it with the hatchet, so I can see where my line is and cut it as flat as I can with the chainsaw. I decided to go with 10-foot long logs, and right now I've been working mostly in about 6.5 inch diameter. I do have one here that is, I think it's 10 inches in diameter at this end and 8 at that end, and this one's 6.5 at this end and 6 at that end. This one's no problem, even with the bark on it. I can pick it up and move it around. It's heavy, don't get me wrong, but it's very manageable even by myself. I will have somebody coming and helping out, but he ain't done this before. I don't want him to hurt his back. I don't want to hurt mine either. So we'll start small, gain the skills we need, gain the strength we need, move our way up. We will see, however, when this is debarked and after a few days of drying, just how manageable it is, because this is going to look a lot prettier than that. So that might be a sacrifice I just have to make. And so what I did here, this is not where the log cabin's going to be. This is the debarking area. So this is where I'll be debarking all my logs. It's really ideal to debark your logs if you can sit on it. And if you have your seat high enough, this is with any seat, that your knees are below your hips, you'll keep a straight back, and I'm big on having a good posture. I'm taking care of my back all around. I want to play with my grandkids one day. So that's why I got these stacked up as high as they are. Also, you have to keep it off the ground or else it'll rot. Bugs will get in it. It's no good for your logs. And then stacked up like this, I'm getting at 360 degrees. It's drying really, really well. So what I did was I took 4 footers. That's a really long one. Just logs. Put them down at each end. And then I could have used a rock to do this. Would have been a little easier. Just took some smaller logs. This side, I didn't even have to. It worked itself up on its own. But used some smaller logs in front of these footers to go ahead and roll the log up onto to begin with, to then get it up on these bigger logs. These bigger logs are maybe 12-inch diameter with the PV. The way this works is find something for you. It's pretty self-explanatory. Go ahead and you get the hook under your log and then use leverage to pull it. And so that's exactly what I did. I just levered it all the way up onto here. And then what you can also do is you can take the PV and you can push logs with it. I was going to do a different method, which I still probably will do with a rope and a stick, but what you can do is you can take the hook, put it on the end of your log here, and put the point on the outside, and then just push. You get about a foot and a half each go. So I line my log up to where it's aiming at my stand, my workstation. Get it all the way over. And these aren't too heavy, so I just pick it up and pull it on. And then I just keep pushing from the back end. So it ends up looking like this. And then I keep pushing from the back end with the PV. So it just keeps pushing up. And then eventually, it's on there like a lever. Don't take much to push it up. And then I can just twist it all the way to one side. Just keep twisting it at an angle. And keep twisting it. And keep twisting it. And using that to let it walk itself farther and farther so I don't have to just grab it and drag it all the way over there. I still do that a little bit when I get to the end sometimes if I deem it to be better than what I'm already doing. What you can also do to get your thing up is, take the face cut section out of your tree and use that as a ramp. I didn't anchor these logs at all because I figure, enough cross tension once I got these other logs on it, it ain't really gonna move. And if it does end up being an issue, then I'll just take some spikes, just nail them down. I do, however, I have an issue with these top logs rolling sometimes when I'm working on them, just a little bit, to be a pain, enough to be a pain. So, also, it's kind of hard to get them, I'll debark one side and then try to roll it to the other side, and it'll want to roll back or not want to sit how I want it. So I've been just taking some of these bark scraps, folding it up as much as I need, just wedging it on the side, and that's been holding it. That'll hold it in place just fine. I could also probably use this as a stop, take that and just hammer it in a bit with the back of my hatchet. Here's my buddy Doodle Bob. He's the neighbor's dog. She supervises. And, my first go at this took me about an hour to debark it. And this is all red oak, I do believe. It's not. I do believe that, this is still cambium layer. I want that gone. All this is all still cambium layer. I'm probably going to want to come back and take that off. When the Fish and Game come to prescribe burn my property, they'll be bringing out the biologist too, and I'll ask them, am I still in the cambium layer? Because I also got pink strips going down that little thing. And is that cambium layer? Is that new growth? Some say just take off the cambium layer. Some take off the whole outer piece of growth. And I'll have to come back. I don't want to hit these knots, mess up my blade, so I'll have to come back with a chainsaw or with my hatchet and hew those off.